All right, hello. This is our algebra lesson on this type of questions. All right, so this is the Pythagorean Theorem question. We get our questions from JMAP website. I'm gonna give you the worksheet that we're working on today. So this is the first question we're gonna be discussing. All right, so what is the value of x in inches in the right triangle below? So this is a right triangle, and we're looking for the sides, not the angles. We're looking for the length of the sides. So there is this rule for right triangle type of calculations. We have what we call the Pythagorean theorem, okay? And the Pythagorean theorem helps you show the relationship between the side length of a right triangle. And so what it says is that if this is, say, for instance, your right triangle right here, for instance, that's your right triangle, this is the right angle, the 90 degrees. The sides that are on either side of your of your right angle, these are what you call your legs, okay? And let's do like there. And this is your hypotenuse right here. And so according to the Pythagorean theorem, the square of the leg, so leg square plus the other leg square is equal to the hypotenuse square, more commonly known as a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are your legs. Okay, so we will apply that in this problem. So this is your 90 degrees, so therefore the sides that are on either side of your 90 degrees, those are your legs. So you can say 3 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared, which is basically this formula, right? So now we have 9 plus 25 equals x squared. 9 plus 25 is 34. This is equal to x squared. We want to solve for x, so therefore the opposite operation of a square is to do the square root. So we'll take the square root of both sides. So therefore x equals square root of 34, which is this answer here. Okay, so now let's move on to a second question. All right, so that's our second question. Let's take that one here. All right, okay, so in the diagram below, triangle ADB, triangle ADB, measure of angle BDA. So BDA, so D is the middle letter, so therefore this is your 90 degrees according to that. So therefore this is a right triangle. AD is equal to 5 square root of 2. AB is 2 square root of 15. So therefore, since this is your 90 degrees, so there the 5 square root of 2, and this side right here, those are the legs, right? So according to Pythagorean theorem, you square the sides or the legs. X squared plus 5 square root of 2 parenthesis squared equals the hypotenuse, which is 2 squared of 15 squared. Now, it is important that you know which one is the hypotenuse. That's the one across your 90 degrees. Okay, so let's simplify this. X squared plus 5 squared of 2. So just understand that 5 square root of 2 squared, that's just the same as 5 square root of 2 times 5 square root of 2, right? So that means 5 times 5, that's going to be equal to 25 square root of 2 times 2, because the coefficient of your radicand, you multiply that. The radicand itself, the numbers inside the square root, you multiply them. So 2 times 2, that's actually 4, okay? So now this is 25 square root of 4, but what is square root of 4? Well, that is 2. So 2 times 25, you have 50. So this thing right here, this is all equal to 50. So I'm going to put that 50 in here. Equals, now you do the same thing for the 2 square root of 15. So that's going to be equal to 60. Okay, so you do that yourself and see if you get a 60 on that one. So I'm going to subtract 50 on both sides because that's a plus. Therefore, the operation opposite to that is subtract. So now I'm going to have x squared equals 10. We solve for x, so therefore we take the square root. So therefore your x is equal to square root of 10, which is that problem right there. Okay. Alrighty, so we are on our last question on Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so let's copy this. I could copy this correctly. Alrighty. Okay, so The end of a dog's leash is attached to the top of a 5 foot tall fence. So this is your fence right here. You already have an illustration. This is your fence. The height is 5 feet, as shown in the diagram below. The dog is 7 feet away from the base. So this is the base. That's the dog. So therefore, the distance is 7 feet. The question is, how long is the leash to the nearest tenth? Nearest tenth means one decimal place, right? So now again, this is your 90 degrees, so therefore these are the legs, right? So according to Pythagorean theorem, you square the legs. 5 squared plus 7 squared equals the hypotenuse, which is leash. Let's call this one letter L, okay? So L squared. 5 squared is 25 plus 7 squared is 49 equals L squared. 25 plus 49, that's 74, equals L squared. Now you take the square root of both sides to get L. Then L will be equal to square root of 74. This would have been acceptable. However, the instruction says find your answer to the nearest tenth. So therefore, you have to take the square root of that and round it to the one decimal place. And that would give you 8.6, which is this problem. Okay, so try this one yourself and double check your work. Find the link in the description of the link of the worksheet. See you then.